Kind sir, if you will please roll the footage at once, thank you.
Welcome back, continuing Sports Limelight, episode 47. Drew, I have here my list of Olympic swimming medal winners.
Oh, do you now?
Phelps with 22 total medals.
Mm-hmm.
There are 9 swimmers total with 10 medals or more in the Olympics.
Wow. How many gold medals do they have?
Franziska van Albsik, 0. Tough luck for you, Franziska. Gary Hall Jr. has 5. Ryan Lochte has 5.
Okay.
Matt Biondi has 8. Mark Spitz has 9. Natalie Coughlin has 3. Dara Torres 4. Jenny Thompson 8.
Wow, so no one in double digits except for the greatest Olympian of all time.
I use the example of, other sports like the decathlon. You get 1 medal for that, doing the 10 diverse tests of athleticism. Going even farther than that, the U.S. Olympic basketball team, they play 6 to 10 games or so over the course of 3 weeks, and in the end, you get 1 medal. So LeBron James, I'm not a big fan of LeBron James, but I'll go with the analogy that if you had LeBron James and Michael Phelps in a room with you, and on the other side of the door, there was a sport that they had to compete in, and you don't know what the sport is going to be. In fairness, it's not swimming or not basketball. Who would you choose to win in that sport?
Well, obviously the easy answer is LeBron James, because he's a better athlete, but I wouldn't consider him a better Olympian.
Yeah, I guess it's how you're defining Olympian, you know. I would just say that if there was football in the Olympics and you have a 55-man roster, any of your 55 men that steps foot into the Olympic Village are instantly a better athlete than Michael Phelps, to me.
Right. Oh, I agree. But for him to just dominate like that, I mean, he has to qualify for these events and make it to the finals. And he's doing this in a 2-week period, and he's winning every single event. That, to me, is just, there's no question in my mind.
There's no doubt. I'll grant him 2 titles. He's the greatest swimmer of all time, and he's the most decorated Olympian of all time, which... The term decorated, it always sounds to me like they're like putting streamers on him, like they're dressing him up like a ballroom or something.
Yeah, I noticed you mentioned Carl Lewis in your video, as he could be possibly the greatest Olympian. But he tested positive for some drugs, was he?
Carl Lewis?
Yeah.
I never knew that.
Yeah. Carl's got slid under the radar, yeah.
Did he get punished and stripped then, or?
I don't know. So in my mind, if you were going to make an argument for greatest Olympian besides Michael Phelps, I would go with Usain Bolt, because he legitimately defended his title. He actually won both races.
Sure, if Bolt is clean, he's another great example of a better athlete.
And another thing I want to point out with Phelps is there are swimmers that specifically train for a certain stroke, and Michael Phelps beats them too. He wins these medleys, and swimmers that are just focused on one stroke of that are, they're not even beating him either.
How different overall is that, though? That's like, this golfer is great at the driver, but he's also great at the 3-iron, or the putting. Like, it's still golf, and it's still swimming. The go-to thing with, getting back to Carl Lewis, the go-to thing is often to blame the media, but in some cases, the media deserves it. I never knew that Carl Lewis tested positive for PEDs. Another thing you never heard before Tiger Woods had his scandal was what a jerk he was on the golf course, like cursing and throwing clubs and kind of, golf prides itself on being a very gentlemanly game.
Right.
And Tiger Woods was kind of flying in the face of all that. But just me, as someone who didn't watch golf, but just by osmosis hear about him through talk radio or ESPN or whatever, never saw that once, never heard that once, that Tiger Woods kind of has a problem with his, temperament on the golf course. So, well,
me being an avid follower of golf and Woods, I knew about that, 10 years ago.
How did you feel about it at the times when he was, kind of Mr. Family Man, great guy, thought to be off the course, yet acted like a petulant child on the course?
Well, that's his job, and it's just like any athlete. I don't care what you do on the field. Just leave it on the field, leave it on the course. And unfortunately, he took his power and competitiveness to adulterate levels. So
that's kind of a thing in sports too, of where people's their personality of what makes them good at sports was also their downfall. Mm-hmm. Like Michael Jordan, another example. To put it nicely, has struggled in his off-court life.
Right.
Not with really bad crime or anything, but just finding himself as a person and finding meaning.
Just a real big DB.
Yeah. To put it simply, yet that's not an excuse, because there do exist athletes who were great at what they did, but weren't complete DBs. Right. David Robinson, such a great person, and Curtis Martin, of course, who just went into the Hall of Fame. Mm-hmm. So to anyone who says like, oh, that's he's just super competitive, that's how he is, that doesn't cut it for me.
Right. Well, to lighten the mood here, I'm going to start this weekly edition of. You read ESPN.com sometimes, maybe?
Very rarely.
Yeah.
NJ.com for Giants and Yankee news is my preferred place. But yes, new feature on the show.
So I know most of you who are out there listening probably read ESPN. Well, I read ESPN just for the comments on news stories, because they are hilarious. So I just wanted to throw out a couple of funny comments of the week here. First article is Dwight Howard traded to the Los Angeles Lakers. It's a 4-team trade. It looked like Orlando didn't really fare that well. So some guy here posted, pretending to be Plaxico Burress, said, Orlando really shot themselves in the leg with this one.
Does he have a Plaxico Burress avatar too, like a picture of
yeah, it just says, quote, Orlando really shot themselves in the leg with this one, end quote, # Plaxico Burress.
Oh, okay. Does he go around on every article and, no matter what the subject, he just says one entity shot themselves?
I don't really follow everyone's nickname here, but it's so funny. Next article here, Chad Johnson. I don't know if you heard about him. He was arrested for headbutting his wife. There's some hearsay about if he really did it or not. And the second most liked comment on this article is a guy pretending to be Stuart Scott. I saw it with my own eye.
Booyah.
I love it when people pretend to be people and say stuff like that. This one's for you, Bill. In a unrelated issue to anybody but you, Giants dealing with back issues. Have you heard of this?
I have. The beds in Albany, supposedly not up to snuff.
Yeah, at least 5 Giants have had back issues during training camp. Mm-hmm. So one of the funny comments here is... Was it a reference to midnight oil?
No. Beds are burning.
Roger Goodell has announced that the beds are being fined $50,000 for late hits.
Late hits? Oh, that's perfect. Great job, commenter.
Yep, there you go. Those are the 20s comments of the week.
Sports Limelight, episode 47, another track from Clockwork Angels to leave you here. This is Carney's. I love the mixture on this of the hard and then to the melodious and back and forth.
I love that word, melodious.
Oh, thank you. And thank you, audience, for listening. We'll talk to you next time.
You're welcome.